That's off right now. Back to you.
Right off the tap, Miles Bridges, welcome back.
How about that variation to start? We saw the tip play in practice earlier today. Didn't go quite as planned, but still ended up with the Bridges dunk.
The sophomore Miles Bridges announces his return in style, and this place is rocking. Exhibition play here inside the Breslin Center. Ferris State, a Division II program from up the road in Big Rapids, Michigan, 120 miles away, and a very good D2 program at that. There's one of their leaders, Drew Cushingberry, the senior from Romeo. It'll stay with the Spartans back at the other end.
Yeah, Josh Langford got beat off the bounce. Kind of a shot clock play, late possession there. Ferris State spread it out, got the one-on-one basket.
So Michigan State with high expectations this season. There's Langford a bit too strong on the baseline. And Ferris State back the other way with Noah King, the senior from Detroit, from long range. Cassius Winston, part of this starting lineup for Tom Izzo in the first of 3 exhibitions, and Tom Izzo said it himself, he will juggle these starting groups, these rotations, even in the second half coming out tonight.
Yeah, much like a baseball rotation in spring training, you'll notice that Tom Izzo will predetermine who's going to kind of play when, and we'll see a lot of that here.
That was another one of those super sophomores. Tom Izzo's words, Nick Ward, too strong from the paint. Zach Hankins, we spotlighted him in the open, coming off an All-American season, spins to the baseline, and Kenny Goins can't clutch the rebound. It'll stay with the Bulldogs.
So already on the inside, we're seeing Nick Ward matched up against Zach Hankins, a lot of one-on-one on the inside. As we take a look at that opening play, Miles Bridges was able to kind of recover off the jump ball that didn't quite go as planned and create that transition bucket.
Ferris State, a good D2 opponent for Tom Izzo and Michigan State to get tested with early. The regular season starting fast. Game 2, these Spartans square off with Duke in a matchup of the top 2 preseason teams in the Coaches Bowl that we showed you earlier. Another offensive rebound early on for Ferris State. Peter Furlick finds Cushingberry matched up with Langford. King hoists another and connects.
That was Ferris State's 3rd chance at a bucket. Michigan State's got to do a better job on the defensive backboards already here early.
Bulldogs by 6, and they want more. Furlick short, and there is Nick Ward. Tom Izzo wants him to be better on the defensive glass. He came soaring in.
Yeah, good job of getting back in transition for Ward.
We're trying to tap home the Winston miss. And here's Ferris State once again, still up by 6. Mayfield, along 2, rattles in.
Ferris State showing a little bit of full court press here after the made basket. They're going to look to do that a little bit, not only after made field goals, but also made free throws.
Andy Brockema, the head coach, knows that they are a smaller team. He wants to get Michigan State out running tonight as Bridges can't connect from downtown. Mayfield had a breakout season a year ago, now a redshirt junior. Another tough contested 2 in the rebound, down to Josh Langford. Here's Bridges, who announced his return on April 13th. He said he had heard he would be selected probably in the 8 to 14 range in the NBA draft in the first round, but he said, this is where I want to be. There's unfinished business here in East Lansing.
Yeah, there's something to be said about being able to enjoy the college experience, play with your teammates, play with your friends, and he's going to get that chance this year.
Hankins working on the baseline, too strong. Rebound down to Ward. Cassius Winston, sophomore point guard, pushes in transition, bounces for Ward, blocked by Hankins. The other end, Mayfield the stuff.
Notice Tom Izzo letting his starting lineup kind of play through some mistakes here early. Ferris State off to a hot shooting start.
A foul on Ferris State on the baseline drive from Winston. And that will send us to a stoppage just more than 4 minutes in. Well, it's the number 2 team in Division I, number 9 in D2, and Ferris State up by 10 in East Lansing. Former NAIA player up in Grand Rapids himself. Then he spent 6 years on staff as an assistant at Ferris before leading this group. And Bulldogs fans might not recognize him without the postseason beard he grew out last year. But yes, that was still Andy Bronkema.
Yeah, and already here as we surpass the first media timeout, we're seeing Tom Izzo sub in 4 new players. Kind of that predetermined rotation. Miles Bridges stays on the floor. Gavin Schilling, Jaren Jackson, Matt McQuaid, and Tum Tum Nairn all new to the floor.
And Bridges bailed out with a foul on the baseline on Ferris State. And Miles Bridges will head to the stripe.
So one of the new things in Miles' game this year is that he's going to be on the wing a lot more. He's going to have a lot more one-on-one opportunities, putting the ball on the floor. One of the points of emphasis for him from Coach Izzo is to get to the foul line, get some easy points, and help his team score a little bit more.
Due to injuries last year, Michigan State was so undersized, so Bridges often played the 4. A lot of the preseason talk is about him playing the 3 for Tom Izzo this year. You've been around this program. How different are those spots in a Tom Izzo offense?
They can be significantly different. The 4 is typically more of a post presence. The 3's more on a wing, and he'll switch more guard-guard as opposed to big-big. He'll need to get accustomed to that.
Speaking of bigs, that was a massive block from the 6'11" freshman, 2 in white, Jaren Jackson Jr., a consensus top 10 recruit, following in the footsteps of Bridges a year ago, who draws a foul from Ty Greer on the way to the rack.
So today in shoot-around, we saw some of the first 5 plays that were scripted by Tom Izzo. There's an opportunity for Miles Bridges in a ball screen situation, putting the ball on the floor, and he's going to go back to the foul, and this is his 3rd and 4th free throw attempt in consecutive possessions.
You got to look at Jackson and now Bridges, who last year was a 69% foul shooter, averaged nearly 17 points a game, just percentage points below Magic Johnson for the Michigan State freshman scoring mark, set back in the 70s. So 12 of the first 14 went to Ferris State. The last 4 belong to the Spartans. Here's D'Angelo Hughes, sophomore from Springfield, Illinois. King goes back to Hughes. Cushingberry with the entry for Hankins, who hands off to Greer. Jackson with his 2nd block.
Jackson already showing his length on the interior, bothering Ferris State shot attempts.
Cushingberry shut off by Tum Tum Nair and a turnover.
He was able to recover with a left-hand block. That's his 2nd block in as many possessions.
Hey, it helps to have a 7'4" wingspan as well.
Yeah, if we had 7'4" wingspans, we'd be able to block like that too.
We probably wouldn't be sitting here, as there's Jackson to start the offense. Matt McQuaid off target from 3 and a loose ball foul underneath on Ferris State and Noah King.
So more differences in Miles Bridges' game already. By being on the perimeter, he's able to get on the interior there, crashing the offensive boards maybe a little bit more than he was. He draws the foul.
Andy Bronkema fired up. Our officiating crew tonight, Lamont Simpson, Bart Widjenki, and Brett Widjenki. Another foul here. Goes against the Bulldogs. That's on Noah King again, so a couple quick ones, and Bronkema will head to the bench early.
Yeah, and it's a tough break for Ferris State. Noah King already 6 early points and 2 threes. Kind of changes their rotation here early.
Senior who shot it 33% from beyond the arc last year in a 28-win season for Ferris State. Bridges too strong on a triple try, and this loose ball foul is underneath on the Spartans.
Yeah, even though Schilling had a little bit of interior position, McQuaid kind of went over Schilling and the defender in order to pick up his first foul.
We touched on it the season a year ago for Ferris State. 28-5, the most wins in program history. They won the regular season title in the GLIAC. They won the tournament title and a 3rd straight trip to the NCAA tournament.
Tom Izzo experimenting a little bit with lineups already. We're seeing Tum Tum Nairn and Cassius Winston on the floor together as Miles Bridges gets his first break.
Ty Greer with a double dribble. The senior from Chicago who just transferred in from Hofstra, one of a couple D1 transfers for Andy Bronkema.
Jaren Jackson going a little bit for the shot back. He'll learn that as his game matures here throughout the season.
Here is Tum Nairn, 11 in white. Third-year captain playing alongside Cassius Winston, who's good on a three.
Yeah, it's one of the improvements in Winston's games, being able to shoot behind that ball screen. Gavin Schilling already his screening ability coming into play.
Tom Izzo has said repeatedly that Cassius Winston has shot it better than he envisioned. Handoff off Ferris State, off of Cole Walker and back to the Spartans.
We're going on about 2.5 minutes now without a Ferris State field goal. Michigan State has really ratcheted it up on the defensive side of the ball.
So Andy Bronkema uses a timeout. The start of exhibition play in East Lansing. The last 7 points belong to Michigan State as they settle in here at home. Cassius Winston, who just hit a three, kicks it out to Matt McQuaid, who puts it on the deck. Back iron. McQuaid tracks down the loose ball. It pops free, and Nairn is there.
Those loose balls that went to Ferris State, that first 4-minute segment, are now starting to fall in the Spartans' hands.
Winston, the baseline jumper. Here's Deshaun Thrower, another transfer from the Division I ranks out of Stony Brook. Sat out last season, and he draws contact on the way to the rim.
That's a big physical take on the perimeter. Tum Nairn just barely gets beat. As he goes, Jaren Jackson again trying to protect that rim. He's going to bother a lot of shots, whether it's by a shot block or a shot contest there. Small detail there, just by Jackson's presence, it prevents the opportunity for a three-point play as they miss the first free throw.
More size and, of course, length as well. That was something that Tom Izzo differentiated between on his team this year as opposed to last year. Thrower spent 2 seasons at Stony Brook, sat out last year, and is playing football as well this year for Ferris State. And now starting out his first basketball season with the Bulldogs.
Yeah, quite the athlete. He played football last Saturday, and now he's playing in East Lansing in a basketball game.
Jackson down low, the slam.
What a great job probing the passing lanes by Cassius Winston. It helps with Jackson's reach, but Cassius Winston with an excellent find to tie the game.
13 all, just under the 13-minute mark first half. Cushingberry out of the hands of Furlick. 7 to shoot with Thrower. Thrower nowhere to go, kicks it to Mayfield, and it's blocked again. The shot rolls off, and the rebound to Winston. Back with speed, little pull-up from Winston, back iron.
Still a good look in there in transition. You've got rebounders that are there in case you missed the shot.
Drew Cushingberry quickly back the other way. As we take one more look at Jaren Jackson down low. So Drew Cushingberry to the free throw line when we come back to East Lansing. Michigan State on an 11-1 run in the last 4 minutes, all tied up. Fans packing the house at the Breslin Center in East Lansing, all level, 13 all in this exhibition between Michigan State and Ferris State. Back with Kevin Pauga, Mike Monaco with you. Tom Izzo hasn't shied away from the talk in the preseason. This is one of his deepest teams. This is one of his most talented teams, but it's about living up to that throughout the year.
It is, and one of the things that he'd be saying right now is that the last 4 minutes was a much better job defensively. He can't be all that thrilled with how the game started, but despite the Spartans shooting 27% from the field, tied 13-13 here as we resume play.
23rd season at the helm here in East Lansing. 7 Final Fours, of course. Last year, he said it was a very challenging year. 20 wins. We've touched on all the injuries, but in the end, a 20th consecutive trip to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, beyond the injuries, Miles Bridges missed 7 games in December. Aaron Harris suffered a season-ending injury at Purdue. It was constantly a mash unit trying to get the pieces to fit together.
Josh Langford in transition, pulls up for 3. Jackson, the offensive rebound and the putback.
That was a little choose-your-own adventure there. Was Ward going to get it or Jackson? Both of them so high above the rim and already showing that offensive rebounding. Langford with a good look on the perimeter, and there's Ward missing it. Jackson grabs it and gets the and one.
6'11" with a 7'4" wingspan. Freshman from Carmel, Indiana, Tom Izzo said he's got to remind himself that he only turned 18 in September.
Yeah, he's so mature for his young age. And he's able to step out on the perimeter as well as Ferris State turns it over outside on the perimeter. That's their second unforced dead ball turnover.
A palming call from Lamont Simpson on Deshaun Thrower. Ben Carter makes his debut, the 6th-year senior from Las Vegas, playing at his 3rd school. Of course, he suffered a season-ending knee injury before the start of last season, and he goes down low to Nick Ward, who will head to the stripe.
Yeah, Carter's such a cerebral player. Spartan fans weren't quite able to see that last year after he got hurt so early, but already there you see Carter in the high post, finding Ward cutting to the basket, and Nick's going to get a chance to shoot 2.
Nick Ward, one of those standout sophomores. You just saw the numbers, nearly 14 points a game, 6.5 rebounds. And Kevin, that was just in 20 minutes a game last year as a freshman. Yeah, he's going to have a little bit of help on the interior this year where he's not going to need to be quite as worried about foul trouble, about getting tired, where oftentimes he had to play maybe a couple stretches that were longer than Tom Izzo would have liked. Bulldogs with the basketball down by 2 after a 12-2 start to this game. Here playing against number 2 Michigan State. There's another turnover, and Winston back with speed. Down the lane, can't spin it home. And it'll stay with the Spartans.
Winston got caught a little bit in with the trees there on the bucket, but again, we're seeing Ward, we're seeing Carter, we're seeing guys crashing the boards. Rebounding was a little bit down last year because of the Spartans' lack of size. Expect it to be up this year.
And so far tonight, the rebounding edge favors Ferris State. Bridges on the drive off the window.
Left-handed shooter, but he can finish right just as easily. He's going right a couple times for buckets.
Cushingberry probing wildly off the window. Loose ball, Langford trying to squeeze it, and he finds Winston. Winston with no whistle, but dump off to Ward.
Keep probing Winston. A great job of drawing the defender. Nick Ward's there waiting for the easy bucket as the Spartans have turned their offense on here in the early going.
8-0 run. Ferris can't answer on a 3-ball try from Andrew Meacham. And the foul goes against the Bulldogs underneath on Marquise Mayfield.
Yeah, that's Ben Carter with interior position there. As we see Cassius Winston with the left-handed pass, he draws the defender like we said, and Nick Ward's just waiting there for the easy bucket.
So Ward will take a seat, and exhibiting all the front court depth that Tom Izzo has, they go to Xavier Tillman, freshman from Grand Rapids, 6'8", 260 pounds.
Yeah, and Tillman, the true freshman, getting a chance to play in this exhibition. He'll get a chance to play kind of a home game in Grand Rapids on Sunday against Georgia. But good for him getting that Spartan debut.
The 1-and-1 for Ben Carter, too strong on the first. Ferris State hasn't had a field goal make in about 6 minutes. Peter Furlick, a good shooter, leaves it short. Bridges down the alley with speed, dumps it off for Tillman. Back to Winston for 3.
Still a great look. Ball doesn't go in, but Tillman does a great job of passing. The inside-out 3 is the easiest 3 that you'll get.
Midway through the first half, Walker short from the corner. Bridges hauls it in a little bit too far ahead of the pack on the pass from Winston. Good deflection from Furlick to force the turnover. Cushingberry walks in on Carter and finishes.
Nice Euro step there by Cushingberry in a one-on-one open court situation. Carter was able to stay vertical and avoid fouling, but still with the finish by Cushingberry.
Now the Spartans trying to pick apart the zone. Langford off the mark. Tillman the offensive rebound. Winston down the lane, can't scoop it up. Cushingberry blocked by Carter. Tried to rescue it. It will stay with Ferris State.
Such a heady play.
Checking in for Michigan State, 11, Aaron Jr., 20, McQuaid, and 25, Kenny Goins. In for the Bulldogs, 20, Staples.
Cushingberry's able to stay in transition there and take Carter right to the basket. Such a good move with the Euro step.
Angelo Hughes, who averaged 5 points a game, but came up big for this Ferris State team in the NCAA tournament, kicks it out. Peyton Staples, a redshirt freshman from Mishawaka, Indiana, short. Bridges the massive block on Walker. McQuaid the other way. It'll stay at this end. 5 blocks already for the Spartans.
Yeah, and Bridges gets up with some verticality. That's a spike that Kathy George, Michigan State's volleyball coach, would be quite proud of. That's Connor George's mom, who's the volleyball coach, Connor being a walk-on with the team, and clearly there's been more volleyball practice this summer than maybe we anticipated.
Hey, they got a big game here, big match I should say, tomorrow against number 7 Nebraska. Out of the corner, McQuaid rises up and connects.
What a great job making the extra pass there against the zone. Nairn was able to draw the defender just enough to get McQuaid free.
Hughes trying to answer, gets the roll for 3.
Little friendly roll for Ferris State after some hard luck here in the last couple minutes.
Kenny Goins says why not. Bridges crashing the offensive glass. But Ferris State will have the basketball when we come back. So Michigan State and Ferris State opening up exhibition play. 4 points, Spartans lead in East Lansing. Just talking about this Michigan State volleyball program. There's Kathy George, the head coach of the Spartans, who are having an excellent season. She, of course, as Kevin told you, the mother of Connor George as well. Big one tomorrow. Nebraska 9-1 in the Big Ten. Michigan State 8-2. And the connection here is Michigan State defensively been rising up with that length with some spikes of their own.
Yeah, that Bridges spike looked like Coach George's. Some of Coach George's players, and it's certainly been exciting to kind of see how the sports have overlapped here at Michigan State. I know that. Oh,
Bridges with a hard fall after jumping up on the shot fake.
Michigan State foul on 22, Miles Bridges, his first. That's the 14th foul on Michigan State.
So the shot fake, Jalen McFadden, and they will tend to Bridges. Well, Miles Bridges, you just saw it flashed a thumbs up to the crowd. He exits under his own power with that towel on the side of his face after taking the hard fall. He went up on the Jalen McFadden shot fake and took a tough landing.
Yeah, Bridges got caught in the air, kind of came down. It appeared on the right side of his face. He's going back to the locker room with the team medical staff, and hopefully Bridges is all right. And it appeared he was walking up under his own power, and we'll see what happens when he comes. Hopefully comes back out onto the floor here.
Yeah, you certainly hope for the best for that young man, Miles Bridges, who announced in mid-April that he would come back and put off the NBA, coming back for his sophomore season as Nairn earns a tie-up.
What a great job there by Nairn, bringing some energy. Rightfully so. The place is a little bit quiet right now, and Nairn bringing that energy, draws the jump ball. It's Ferris State's ball on the baseline. Shot clock's down at 7. A tough possession here for Ferris State.
Baseline inbound, Hankins. Now a long three from Hughes, spins in off the window.
With a bank and a little roll around, he had about as much English on that shot as we've seen all night.
Goins, good hands to reel it in. And now McQuaid resets.
Ferris State continuing to show that zone against this lineup that includes Langford and McQuaid as shooters. Kenny Goins as well can kind of draw some of those shots.
McQuaid, corner short. Goins the tap, can't get it to go. Loose ball to McFadden. Hughes is feeling it. Pull up three, swirls out. Offensive rebound, McFadden. And he kicks it out to Furlick. Ferris State down by 1, and pretty good for Andy Bronkema, all things considered. Hankins, this man, the All-American, has been get it to go off the glass. He remains scoreless for Ferris. Just about 14 minutes in. Langford missed by 3. Nairn tips it. Wade. That's short. Loose ball. Down to Hughes. Shot fake McFadden. Steps into the mid-range jumper. And Ferris State is back in front.
Michigan State continues to struggle, shooting the ball 2 of 14 now from 3. That's 14%. Ferris State's zone has hurt the Spartans here in the first half.
Spartans below 30% overall from the floor. There's Gab, also back from a knee injury. Shot clock winding down. Schilling has to get it up. Offensive foul.
Yeah, Schilling led with that left elbow as the shot clock's running down. He kind of had to force it up in order to clear that space there. That left elbow kind of extended out as Schilling picks up the offensive foul.
Checking into the lineup for the Bulldogs, 1 Thrower, 11 Greer, and 4 Cushenberry. Checking in for Michigan State.
Second foul on Schilling, who will take a seat on the bench. Kenny Goins. Ferris State has the basketball on an 8-0 run in these last 3 minutes.
More combinations here, Nairn and Winston. Also seeing Jackson and Ward together on the inside.
Hankins working on Ward, spins it back to the right hand, and that's the first bucket for the All-American Zach Hankins 15 minutes in. Langford off the shot fake, short. Tipped out off the fingertips of Greer, and it sticks with the Spartan.
Ferris State continues to out-rebound the Spartans. That margin's now 22-19. So much of that is because, obviously, it's easier to get a defensive rebound than an offensive rebound. Those percentages are really in favor of Ferris State.
8 field goal makes for Michigan State as Nairn steps into the lane, gets the bounce.
Great finish there by Nairn, going up with the left hand, being able to spin the ball just around the defender. Really nice job, really nice finish.
Third-year captain with 65 career starts for Tom Izzo, one of the best leaders in program history. Noah King blocked by Jackson.
Jackson's length again causing so much that inside. Didn't even have to jump for that ball, just his the left able to bother that shot.
He has 4 blocks in this. Extra steps on the perimeter from Deshaun Thrower. It's Nairn, Winston, Jackson, Expert, and Ward. The 5 on the floor for Michigan State.
Several of these sets will predetermine Winston or Nairn's on the floor. Here, Winston at the 1. Aaron at the 2.
Good ball movement from the Spartans. Winston, kick out. Langford, 2 strong. Ward the up, rebound and the putback.
What a great range rebound by Ward, and then going up with the left hand, one-handed. That athleticism is really impressive.
He was one of the best offensive rebounders in the country a year ago as a true freshman. Hankins draws a foul on the interior with the shot clock winding down. And that will send us to a timeout. So it was an 8-0 run for Ferris State, but the big Nick Ward has the Spartans back in front. Well, Andy Bronkema knew this was a tall task. He says, we've had 7 practices. We're the number 9 in Division II, so we're effectively the 360th best team going up against the preseason number 2.
Yeah, and one of the most impressive parts for Ferris State tonight, that offensive rebound percentage is up upwards of 40%. At a Division I scale, that would be pretty doggone good, and Ferris State's been able to get some second chances as a result.
There's a 3 from Noah King, who had 2 early ones picked up. He comes back here late in the first half. He's got 9. Josh Langford has had a tough shooting start. 0 of 6, 0 of 7. Cushingberry back with speed, steps into the lane, blocked again by Jackson. 5 blocks. Jared Jackson.
He continues to bother interior. There's such a great job of Jackson, not only getting the shot block, him getting back in the first place to be able to contest that shot, knocks it out of bounds and saves a Michigan State bucket that would have been given up.
Coaches always say, for freshmen, the toughest part is adjusting to things on the defensive side, but when you've got that length like Jared Jackson, that'll help out.
Yeah, as Ferris, another one in. They've gotten some friendly rolls here. That's about the 3rd or 4th time where a ball's kind of swayed just off the rim and kind of fallen back with some fortuitous spin for Ferris State.
2.5 minutes to go in the first 20 minutes here in East Lansing. Working through a double down low, draws the whistle. And the foul underneath on Ferris State.
Ferris State foul on 32.
Peter Furlick digging down for his second.
Ward doing such a good job of getting deep post position there. Michigan State's been at that offensively when they've been able to get inside, when they've been able to get some free throw attempts. 2-16 from the 3 so far tonight. Need to keep pushing the ball inside, try to get some easy buckets, let the inside take care of itself first to work outside and help some of the perimeter shooting.
Ward was a 62% free throw shooter last year. Told you about his numbers as a freshman and how they rated on a 40-minute scale. He's on the preseason All-Big Ten team. He's one of the top 10 players in the conference heading into his sophomore season. So it's a 2-point game. Ferris State up with the basketball coming up on the final 2 minutes until halftime. Hankins squares up, spins up and under, back to the base.
It's a big-time move up and under. Ward up in the air, and even Jackson's length wasn't able to get across the rim in time before the bucket.
Huge slam from Jared Jackson. Look out!
I'm not sure anybody knew that there was a foul. The reaction in this place was so loud. Jackson taking off from outside the lane with the left hand, putting the ball on the floor, and wow! What a take to the basket for Jackson. He'll get the opportunity for a three-point play.
Jared Jackson has announced his presence in not even 20 minutes here. He stamps the three-point play. He's got 8 points, and Jaren Jackson has 5 blocks as well. Thrower off the bounce, fouls on the floor on the Spartans. They get Cassius Winston.
Yeah, Winston got beat going right there, right off the dribble. As Ferris State's going to actually get a chance to go to the foul line for the front end here of a 1-and-1 for Deshaun Thrower.
Redshirt junior from Muskegon, Michigan. He was a year older than Deontay Davis, and they were back-to-back Mr. Basketball winners here in the state of Michigan. Of course, Davis spent his one season here in East Lansing before NBA.
Yeah, that Muskegon program's had a lot of success, not only at the state tournament level, but also talking about players in the college game as well.
Langford off the miss. Thrower tracks down the ball. Thrower rises up, left the three short. McFadden the offensive rebound, and that advantage continues for Ferris State on the glass.
Yeah, it's a 45% offensive rebounding percentage. It's awfully high. Tom is disappointed about that in the locker room at halftime.
Cushingberry splits, now kicks it to McFadden. Floater on the baseline, won't drop. Gavin Schilling clutches the rebound. Final minute, first half. Ball in the hands of Cassius Winston, and Michigan State will take a timeout.
Tom Izzo with the use it or lose it timeout. You got 18 seconds on the shot clock, 55 on the game clock. You want to take this down a little bit. Hopefully that clock maximize possessions here and hopefully get 2 looks at the basket to Ferris State's 1.
Cassius Winston wants somewhere to go, and he finds his freshman, Jaren Jackson.
Ferris State coming up. Tom Izzo likely with a man zone play coming out of that timeout.
Jackson spinning down the lane. Schilling can't get the follow to drop, and then a loose ball foul for Jackson.
Michigan State foul on 2, Jaren Jackson Jr., his first, the 18th foul for the Spartans.
So the 1-and-1 come at their end for Ferris State. 22 seconds left. Intermission. Andy Brockamus, excellent Division II program. In the Breslin Center, up by 3 with McFadden at the stripe. Another freshman from Detroit. An opportunity to get some more minutes for him early on. Greg Williams was a key guy in the rotation for Ferris State. Broke his foot in August. They will get him back next month. But right now it's next man up for Brockama. It's about an 11-second difference between game and shot clocks. The lob to Jackson, redirected to Schilling. Met by the rim, and now foul and 2 shots coming for Gavin Schilling.
Yeah, Jackson gets the pass. Going to him, wasn't quite able out just in time. Kind of almost looked like that pass was intentional to Schilling. Schilling doing a good job of diving to the rim. Couldn't quite get the ball above the rim on the first contest, but he'll get 2 shots.
Schilling, the redshirt senior from Chicago, who also suffered a season-ending knee injury before last year got underway. And they're excited to have him back because they expect him to be one of the best ball screen defenders on the interior in the country. The weakness for the Spartans last year.
The athleticism on the perimeter, stepping out on those ball screens, and even defending on the inside on the post. Versatility is able to bring so many different aspects to the Spartan defense.
Shot clock is off. Final 15 seconds for Ferris State to hold. High ball screen, Thrower doesn't use it, gets to the rack, and it's blocked by Jackson again. That man right there, Jaren Jackson, has started his collegiate career in 6 blocks, 8 points, in a well-played first half for this Ferris State team on the road. So we will step aside. Ferris State 38, Michigan State 35 at the break. Back with more from the Breslin Center after this in East Lansing. Back inside the Breslin Center, getting set for the second half. Ferris State has the three-point lead on Michigan State in this exhibition as we welcome you back courtside alongside Kevin Pauga. Mike Monaco with you. This, though, was the story. Miles Bridges took this hard ball during the first half. He flashed that thumbs up, and here he is back out on the floor, bandaged up on the right side of that face for this second half. It's an excellent sign to see, Kevin.
Yeah, it is, and Bridges has got a bandage on the right side of his face. He got a couple stitches at halftime. He's going to start here in the second half. Really good sight for the Spartan fans here at the Breslin Center tonight.
Look, we know that Ferris State is up by 3, but the story is Miles Bridges and his health, so that is a tremendous sign that Bridges returns right now, 6 months after he announced that he would return for his sophomore season. Jared Jackson was one of the other stories, and there he is with 2 more points. He's up to 10. He had 6 blocks in the first 20 minutes.
Jackson's ability to put the ball on the floor. We're seeing it again going left toward the rim. Didn't finish the first time, but his length was able to get the second chance bucket, and he continues having impact.
There's a dump low down to Zach Hankins, who gets tied up, but there's a foul on Michigan State.
Nairn picks up the foul.
4 points in the first half for Zach Hankins on 2 of 4 shooting. The redshirt junior last year averaged 14 and a half a game. And Andy Bronkema said, look, I would be happy if he delivers that exact same production in his redshirt junior season. Averaged a double-double, also averaged 4 blocks a game for this excellent Division II Ferris State squad.
And yet, as good as this Ferris State team has been tonight, Hankins now, even after those 2 free throws, only with 6 points, Michigan State's done a good job of guarding on the interior.
Open look for Tum Tum Nair, way off the mark. Stays with the Spartans with 12 to shoot.
Ball last touched by the Bulldogs, Michigan State basketball.
29% shooting for Michigan State. They set up Josh Langford, who still is quiet, now 0 of 9, but Bridges the save along the baseline.
It was a better look for Langford going toward the basket, drew the defender off the shot fake. That's still a good look for Langford. Some of the better shots than what he was taking in the first half.
Bridges tried to go up and under along the baseline. Ferris State back the other way. Marquise Mayfield over to Drew Cushingberry, rises up, back iron, shilling the board. Nairn with speed into the lane, too strong. Stays with Michigan State.
Nairn got caught a little bit too close to the basket. Kind of had to try and finish with his right hand, even though he was on the left side of the basket. Fortunate that Jackson was able to keep the ball alive.
3 is good for Miles Bridges. He had 8 points before he left after the hard fall. Now into double figures with 11.
So good to see that first shot knocked down by Bridges.
Held ball, the call. The arrow favors Ferris State. Wanted to get better shooting from the perimeter, expecting to play more of the 3 this year for Tom Izzo, with everybody back healthy and all that front court size we talked about. Cushingberry at the step.
Again, Nairn doing such a good job of staying chest to chest with the offensive player. It's so difficult to create your own shot when Nairn's able to stay not only chest to chest, but also vertical there. Really good defense by Tum Tum.
And Deshaun Thrower checks in. Drew Cushingberry walks off following the traveling call, and he's favoring that right arm. An all-conference first-team selection last year, and a senior leader in the backcourt for Andy Bronkema. Schilling nearly lost it. Now tosses over to Nairn and Bridges. Bridges with a head of steam on the Euro step. It goes off the back of Noah King. 8 to shoot.
Bridges almost got caught in between there. The ball fell right on the back of the Ferris State defender. Wasn't quite sure if he should dive after the ball, let it go out of bounds. right on the edge there.
It was Noah King who had a heck of a first half, 11 points, 3 triples, and now an offensive foul on Bridges.
Ferris State foul. Player control foul on Michigan State. 22, Miles Bridges. His second personal foul, the second team foul on Michigan State.
So the second foul on Miles Bridges, and we remain locked at 40. Foul underneath goes on Gavin Schilling, and that's his third, so Nick Ward will return.
His third personal foul, 13th foul.
This is where your interior depth allows you to throw additional bodies inside. Nick Ward's going to get a chance. Schilling started the second half. We talked many times about Tom Izzo wanting to see different combinations. We're going to be able to see that Ward-Jackson combination inside with Bridges on the floor as well.
And that's something that is so different for Tom Izzo already at the start of this season, as the foul's on Zach Hankins, trying to carve out some space. That's his third.
Yeah, Zach Hankins just none too happy with that call, as he kind of led with one of the arms, trying to create space himself on the out-of-bounds play. Didn't quite work up for him as he picked up the foul.
Andy Brockema also displeased. Just about 3 minutes in second half. Nairn around the screen. Brings it back up top. Nairn lost the handle. King another three off the mark, and Bridges one-arms the rebound. Bridges turns it over. Marquise Mayfield in transition, blocked by Bridges. To the basket, and the foul drawn by Joshua Langford.
Ferris State foul on 35, Hankins, his fourth.
Bridges does such a great job of getting back, using the rim as one defender to his right, his left hand on the left-hand side there. When you've got your arm on one side, the rim on the other side, it's pretty tough as an offensive player to access that space.
The foul was called on Zach Hankins, so that is his fourth foul. The conference player of the year a season ago, the second team All-American, takes a seat at 16:43, and mark that time down. Tied at that moment. Hankins to the bench, Langford at the line, a 65% shooter a season ago.
Time is going with Kenny Goins, Cassius Winston. A little bit more of an offensive-minded lineup with a couple shooters, hopefully trying to push the ball in transition and get some easy buckets.
So Cushingberry was banged up, Hankins in foul trouble. The two best players on this excellent Ferris State team from last year, sidelined for now. Thrower backs it out, Hughes hoists, off the mark, Ward the rebound. Langford on the pull-up. Ward crashes, and it's back to Ferris State.
Ball has struck by Michigan State. Ferris State basketball.
Ward doesn't end up getting the ball there, but by him running the middle of the lane, even as Langford's taking that shot, Ward's able to put himself in a position to get an offensive rebound. Didn't work out there, but really good energy from Ward here in the second half.
Mayfield looking for somewhere to go, and it's a kick on Kenny Goins to send us to a timeout at the start of the second half. Ferris State, Division II program on the road here in East Lansing, but the Spartans are back up by 2. The students happy to have basketball back in East Lansing tonight. Michigan State with a quick start to the second half, back up by 2. They were on the ropes a little bit in the first half against this Division II opponent in Ferris State. Off the miss, it'll stay at this end with Ferris State.
Ferris State showing why they're one of the better rebounding teams in all of Division II. They had some major advantages last year, and they're giving the Spartans some fits.
Andy Bronkema thought that despite the great size from Michigan State this year, he thought his team would probably be able to rebound with them tonight, and that's certainly been the case.
Not to be understated, too, the experience of Ferris State, starting 3 seniors, 2 juniors. There's something to be still said for experience.
If you're just joining us, Zach Hankins, the star for the Bulldogs, has 4 fouls, and Drew Cushingberry left a few minutes ago favoring his right arm. That's a missed shot from the perimeter from Hughes. And they will count that bucket.
Yeah, Ward actually came up trying to grab the ball, thinking that it was going to miss the rim short. But the ball ended up actually hitting the rim. We'll take a look at the replay here.
Three-point basket is good by D'Angelo Hughes.
And that's awfully close to where Ward has the ball just at the rim. Defensively, you've got to let the ball clear that rim in order to avoid that goaltending call. Clearly, the ball's not going in, but that doesn't always matter for the rule.
So the basket interference on Ward. 3 points for D'Angelo Hughes, who is up to 9. 6 3-point makes for Ferris State. That's been crucial for the Bulldogs. Ward, nice slip through, working on Walker.
Crafty inside by the lefty. Looks like he's going over his right shoulder, and then changes direction.
Bridges pokes it away. Miles Bridges, the stop.
What a great job of changing direction, left, right, and the slam.
Walker, erased by Ward. And Winston couldn't get it to Ward. Picked off by Cushingberry. Hughes with the finish.
Yeah, a little sloppy pass by Winston.
And Andy Bronkema was begging Lamont Simpson for a timeout. He finally gets it. Bridges at one end for the Spartans.
The big thing here for Andy Bronkema is turn this into a half-court game defensively, where they were getting Michigan State in trouble in the first half, is keeping them not only from the zone perspective, but also contested shots limit Michigan State to 1 shot. They've done a pretty good job all night, and that's partly why they're in the game.
Bridges, Winston, Goins, McQuaid, and Tillman. The 5 on the floor for Tom Izzo. Miles Bridges has 13 points, but he throws that away. Picked off by Hughes. Hughes, open look, and he cashes in. And Ferris State goes back in front.
Miscommunication there. Bridges and McQuaid, 2 guys ran to the corner, open 3.
It's now a game-high 14 for D'Angelo Hughes, who last year as a freshman broke out somewhat surprising, even to Andy Bronkema, only averaged 4.7 a game. That's off the fingertips of Mayfield. Stays with the Spartans, 10 to shoot. Here's the look.
Yep, you see Bridges and McQuaid both go to the corner as D'Angelo Hughes was able to stop and pop in transition and hit that 3.
These teams met a couple years ago in an exhibition as well, but that was a 19-point halftime advantage for Michigan State, which went on to roll. Shot clock winding down. Bridges on the floater. No good. Tillman the offensive rebound. Winston for 3. Got it!
What a great job by Tillman, not only corralling that offensive rebound, but taking his time, finding Winston on the outside. Inside out 3 usually leads to good results.
Cushingberry did return before the previous timeout. He averaged 12 a game last year and can create for Ferris State. Shot clock at 5. He wants the high ball screen instead. Tees it up and way off target from long range. Winston, little step back jumper drop. 5 straight for Cassius Winston.
What a good job by Winston of probing to the basket, creating that space. That soft little touch puts it up on the rim and in.
Mayfield trying to take Goins off the bounce. Draws a foul on the floor here on Michigan State.
Kenny Goins, his first, 14th foul on Michigan State.
Cassius Winston with a little mini 5-point run of his own. He gets the inside out 3, and then he comes back, and again, you see off that left foot being able to create that space. Good look by Winston, who really is an offensive force for the Spartans.
We know all about the assist numbers that he had last year, averaged better than 5 assists a game. Second most for Spartans freshmen behind some guy named Magic Johnson. But this offensive ability, that's something that Tom Izzo says, if he brings that, if he brings the defense we know he can lead this team.
He's a very cerebral player. He's looking for the pass, and he's always one play ahead, especially on the offensive side. Knowing where his teammates are, that feel for the game is really important when you're the quarterback of the offense.
Mayfield connected on both to make it a 1-point game, as the Spartans have it once more. Winston on the drive, can't get the roll, but 2 shots coming.
Ferris State foul on 25, Andrew Meacham.
It's the first foul on Andrew Meacham, the redshirt junior from Northville.
At the line for Michigan State, Cassius Winston shooting 2.
You're starting to see the difference in Winston's game. He put on some weight, put on some muscle over the course of the summer. That stronger finish, not only be able to get toward the rim, but to be able to draw the contact and put the ball up and give it a shot really shows some of the physical maturity that he's displaying here as a sophomore.
78% at the stripe last year. He's good on both. Spartans up by 3. Peter Furlick, who averaged double digits last year, he's scoreless. Mayfield loses it. Winston pries it away in the open court. The finish.
That's 9 straight for Winston. Again, finishing at the rim, being able to create. What a job by
Cushingberry
Winston.
back the other end, off the window with an answer to Cassius Winston. Cushingberry trying to take it away. Winston on the deck. Ball still loose. And now a tie-up, and the arrow to Michigan State.
On the alternate possession, it will be Michigan State basketball. We have a
So Cassius Winston has taken matters into his own hands. He's got 9 straight for Michigan State, up by 3.
With Lansing.
Exhibition action here at the Breslin Center, but it does not feel like it here tonight. An excellent Division II program in Ferris State, ranked 9th in some preseason polls at that level, challenging the Spartans. Cushionberry with the kick on the entry from Winston, trying to find Bridges.
Tom Izzo so good with plays out of the timeout. You can tell that play design drew a back screen for Bridges coming around the other side. Winston knew he was going to be there. Good job by Cushingberry to put that foot out there and prevent the easy bucket. Looked like Tom Izzo actually wanted a pass fake there from Winston, kind of blaming that as to how Cushingberry was able to get a deflection on the play.
They free up Bridges off the inbound, too strong. And a push down low underneath on Ferris State. It's the second foul on Andrew Meacham.
Xavier Tillman won't get credit for that offensive rebound, but it does create another possession, one and the same. The effort of going to the boards, that's something that the Spartan coaching staff emphasizes in practice. It's something that they grade out each game. Gains the Spartans an extra possession there.
Bridges working on the baseline, rises up.
What a job, driving baseline with the two-handed dunk. The physicality there by Bridges, quite impressive.
Meacham can't connect, and here comes Winston. Over to Bridges, one more time, and it won't go. And Bridges can't believe it.
The first one, Bridges going up two-handed right on Marquise Mayfield. What a job by Bridges. He tried to come back the second time. I think for a second there, most of us thought he was too far out, but he still put it on the rim. Just bounced out a little long. I'm not sure if you saw the trajectory of that shot. Actually took the ball into the third row over here on the near side. Watch out, the ball's coming for you. I hope you got your hands up.
Got the hands ready on press row for the pogo stick, Miles Bridges. Hankins is back, playing with 4 fouls. Shot clock winding down, and another block for Jackson. Winston back with speed to the basket. And shots coming. I believe Andy Brockham of the Ferris State head coach wanted a goaltending call at the other end on that clock.
Jackson got up awfully high. The rule on that is that once the ball hits the apex, regardless of where that is, it's still blockable. But being able to turn good defense into good offense so quickly, that outlet pass to Winston, being able to create the 2 free throws on the other end, turning good defense into good offense is important.
And Andy Brockema was just pleading his case to Lamont Simpson that was goaltending, and Lamont Simpson kindly reminded him that they have expanded the coach's box, but not that far.
Yeah, and you'll kind of see on the floor, there's the line that's kind of drawn out on the floor, kind of where Coach Izzo is standing right now, and then there's the second line on the sideline that's closer to half court. It's almost closer to that NBA box style where the coaches are able to get close to half court, but maybe not close enough to be able to make frenemies with the other team.
So Brockema's Bulldogs looking for an answer, and they go to Drew Cushingberry with a massive shot hanging in the air to cut it to 4. Bridges wants it back. No good on the triple try. Stays with the Spartans. Here's the look from Drew Cushingberry.
Cushingberry double clutching in the air. Really good body control to be able to take the contact coming and still get it up on the rim. Really impressive player by the veteran.
He's into double figures with 10. Midway point of this second half, Spartans by 4. Another zone look here from Ferris State. Matt McQuaid. Hankins the rebound and the outlet to Cushingberry. Nairn stays right with him in an offensive foul.
Nairn's so good, again, getting chest to chest, being able to move his feet, keeping his hands up. Cushingberry tries to go right through him, and there you see Nairn take Cushingberry's left shoulder right into his chest. Great defense again by Nairn.
And we've seen it just in these last 5 or so minutes, second half. Winston, what he can do offensively and what Nairn brings defensively.
They're both so good in their own ways. Winston on the offensive side, Nairn on the defensive side. And that's part of why Tom Izzo wants to play the two of them together. They bring so much to the team when they're both on the floor.
Ferris State still camped in the zone. Jackson flashes, short, rebound to Cushingberry. Furlick draws a blocking foul on Matt McQuaid.
Michigan State foul on 20, Matt McQuaid. His second, the 15th foul.
McQuaid just got caught a little bit coming off of his man. As Jackson kind of comes back, not late in transition, but still kind of puts the Spartans at odds when you're trying to get back, and Ward's got to locate right under the basket.
And Hankins right there slipped free off the inbound, and he cuts it to a 2-point game. Ferris State, a program that has had success against Division I opponents in these exhibition settings. Now, certainly not the caliber of Michigan State as an opponent. Jackson down the lane to stop.
Really good ball movement. Great job by Jackson of diving to the rim against the zone, finding the sweet spot. McQuaid finds him going to the basket. Really good look, really good finish.
Hankins can't answer other end. Nairn wants to push. Nairn splitting the zone. Back to Jackson, too strong with the left hand. Ward the offensive rebound, can't follow. Cushingberry at the controls. Gets the high screen from Walker. Now 10 to shoot. Peter Furlick to the corner. Mayfield. In and out. McQuaid the rebound. Bridges bounce pass to Ward with the scoop. No. Hankins shovels to Walker. Deflected on the way up, and Hankins follows.
Hankins is able to get that second chance bucket there as two defenders go for the shot block. That's the one disadvantage. When you don't get the shot block, it leaves offensive rebounds.
Ward underneath, couldn't control the dribbling, and it's a turnover back to Ferris State when we come back to the Breslin Center. Back and forth, up-tempo, Michigan State by 2.
Ferris State, they've got a couple guys inside that have the Big Ten bodies, the Big Ten length. But what Jackson's able to do against a 6'5", 6'6" guy, it's almost unfair. That reach is so effective against a smaller wing player.
So Ferris State has the basketball, down by 2. It's Hughes, Walker, Hankins, Thrower, and Noah King, the 5 on the floor for Andy Bronkema. Down low, Thrower got free, gets the roll, +1.
Cut the basket for 1. Deshaun Thrower. Michigan State foul.
So well, that'll look like Nairn's fault. Nairn picks up the foul. That's one of those where your big guy needs to help off of his guy and try and take away, at least bump that cutter, give Nairn a chance as he's going down on a double screen to be able to help out a teammate. Box score may show that as Nairn, but there's where a backline big man can help him out.
Thrower couldn't stamp the three-point play. Josh Langford still quiet offensively. Loose ball in the hands of Thrower, and Langford is 0 of 11 shooting. Hughes nearly walked, and he sends it back out to King. Now in the hands of Thrower, the transfer from Stony Brook. Lost the footing, kicks it out. Shot clock drips down to 6. King on the baseline. Walker, no. The follow swatted around in the hands of McQuaid. And here comes Michigan State trying to grab the lead.
Ferris State back in man as Cassius Winston pulls it out, tries to set up an offensive set.
McQuaid gets free on the screen and connects.
What a great read by McQuaid. He was coming up the down screen, saw the Ferris State defender kind of cheat the screen. He fades to the corner and hits the 3.
Michigan State had been 3 of 21 from beyond the arc. That's their 4th triple. Walker can't answer, and Bridges soars for the rebound, his 4th. Langford. Jalen McFadden launches way off the mark. And Michigan State trying to make it a 2-possession game. Winston got away with a little push-off, but he goes out the window.
Yeah, Winston again creating space, being able to probe, find a spot, and he's such a good finisher around the rim, especially with that right hand.
Thrower, baseline drive, and a foul on Cassius Winston.
Winston picks up the foul there. Where Tom Izzo, in terms of help side defense, team defense, he wants Winston to force his guy more towards the middle. There's no help on that baseline. When Winston gets beat by a half a step, that's what you get. You get that foul or you get an easy layup.
Thrower is just 3 of 6 at the free throw line. As Jaren Jackson comes back for Michigan State.
Tom Izzo going small here. Bridges at the 4, Langford at the 5. We thought we might see a little bit of this, but already We're seeing that smaller lineup, Nairn and Winston. Bridges at the 4.
And Thrower exits after he split at the line. Drew Cushingberry is back. So 5 minutes to go, 4-point game. They run Winston off the screen. Now Bridges sends it back for Jackson. Working on Hankins, lost the handle. And a blocking foul on Noah King, his 3rd.
Bridges with just enough of a hesitation dribble there in order to go middle. He's going to get a chance to shoot 1-and-1. Try to get some easy points at the foul line.
At the line for Michigan State, Miles Bridges shooting 1-and-1.
Bridges already with 15 points for the Spartans. The Big Ten Freshman of the Year a season ago, 2nd team all-conference. Still has that bandage on the right side of his face. If you joined us late, he took a hard fall when he went up on a shot fake in the first half. Went back to the locker room, came back out for the second half. And a big exhale for Tom Izzo and all Spartans fans. Hankins spinning on Jackson on the step through. Might have been deflected by Jackson. Hankins can't follow.
Even though Jackson gets a deflection on the first one, he contests the second one, bothers both, and ends up with a stop.
That's a point you made early on. It's not just the blocks, and there have been plenty of those. It's also that length causing disruption. McQuaid, no on a 3. Rebound to Hughes. King with the step through and the floater. 4-point game.
Tom Izzo not happy with the defense in transition there as he calls timeout.
4 minutes, and he wants to chat with Cassius Winston and his squad. They've got a 4-point lead on Ferris State, looking to finish off the Bulldogs in the exhibition. But before they get to all of that, here tonight trying to finish off Ferris State, 4 minutes to go at a 4-point cushion. Josh Langford has had a tough shooting day, but he lobs into Jackson. Double team comes and a foul on the baseline is on Ferris State.
As the Wajenki brothers converge to verify that it is, in fact, 2 shots for Jackson.
And that's a layup for us, just the Wajenki brothers.
If you've got it, you go with it. It makes it a lot easier than trying to tell the difference between the two.
The foul is on Noah King, his 4th. Joins Zach Hankins, who has 4 of his own. Jaren Jackson, good on both. He's made all 4 at the line tonight in his collegiate debut, up to 14 overall.
And the Spartans now 86% from the line. 20 of 23 have done a really good job of taking advantage of some of those easy points.
You just caught a glimpse of Noah King getting worked on the sideline. Midway through the shot clock for Ferris State, searching for a bucket, down 6. Mayfield passed on the 3. Now Cushingberry off target. Jackson, the rebound, wrapping around Hankins. Foul on McFadden. He's 4 of 5, and now he has a game-high 18 points.
So I'm okay so far in the announcer jinx.
You're clear. You're allowed back in.
Even though analytically that's not a thing, just to be clear. Oh no!
Take a lap. Bridges gets the loose ball. Winston for 3.
Analytics like that. 4-point play on the possession.
McFadden the other end, +1 on the bump at the basket. It's on Miles Bridges, his 3rd. He knew it. not happy with himself.
After such a good play by Bridges on the offensive side to find Cassius Winston stepping into the shot, Tom Izzo not happy with the transition defense there. Maybe a little bit too much celebrating. Leads to not only the basket, but another free throw for Ferris State to try and cut the lead for Michigan State down to 7.
McFadden can't finish it off. Loose ball to McQuaid.
Great job by McQuaid of cleaning that up. Jackson kind of lost control of the rebound. Looked like Hankins gave up on it going the other way, and McQuaid cleans it up.
They run Winston off a screen. He's the hot hand. Got another!
That's 24 points for Cassius Winston. He's been so good shooting the ball here in the second half.
Ferlich from the elbow too strong. McQuaid's got another loose ball, and Winston can slow it if he wants.
And he wants. Or maybe better phrase, Tom Izzo wants.
The lead has swelled to 11, the largest tonight for Tom Izzo. Bridges, backdoor, on the baseline, off the window.
What a great job by Bridges of being patient, not going for that first shot, trying to work his way around the defender to get the easy 2.
It's an 18-5 run for Michigan State in the last 5 minutes, trying to finish off Ferris State in this exhibition to start the season, and a foul on the floor.
Yeah, Jaren Jackson picks up the cheapie there, going for a ball that he can't necessarily get there. At some point, even though Michigan State tends to three-quarters front in the post, you give that up and let your length do the talking, rather than give the free throws where Hankins is going to get a chance to shoot a 1-and-1.
Second foul on Jackson, so Nick Ward replaces him.
So much of this run has taken place with Bridges at the 4, Jackson, now Ward at the 5. The smaller lineup has really done well here for MSU late.
Hankins earns another. It's a big part of this time of the year, the exhibitions for Tom Izzo, playing with those different rotations, the lineups, and newfound size. They went from being one of the smallest teams in the country due to injuries last year to now one of the biggest in the country.
But also playing high-level competition out of the Division II ranks. I mean, there's a reason that Ferris State is scheduled in this game in order to try and give Michigan State a look, and that they have tonight.
Ferris State 9th in the Division II polls. Only lost one starter, Quentin Ruff, an excellent player off last year's team. They had a couple Division I transfers. The pieces starting to come together as well for Andy Bronkema and Ferris State, heading into another season in the competitive GLIAC. Bridges falling away. Hankins the rebound. Ferlich reverse pinned by Bridges. Goaltending the call.
Yeah, he pinned it up against the backboard. Ball comes off the backboard. Bridges pins it back onto it, as we'll see here. Hits once, hits twice, and that's goaltending.
Other than that, though, 13 blocks for Michigan State, a testament to that newfound size. As Ferlich commits the blocking foul on Winston up court, with 65 ticks left.
That's where Cassius Winston has matured his game. He makes sure that he draws the foul. He kind of initiates just a little bit of that contact, knowing that Ferris State's going to be a little bit aggressive, down 9 with a minute left. But how about Cassius Winston's line here in the second half? He's 6 for 6 from the field. He's 3 for 3 from the 3. And hitting that free throw, he's got 20 second half points and has really been an asset for the Spartans.
Told you earlier, he's a breakout candidate for this season. As Tum Nairn is back in for Josh Langford. But Winston, Nairn, we could see more of them together, at least based on this second half. The small lineup, like you said, has worked well.
Yeah, and you don't want to make too much out of one game, especially in the exhibition season as you're trying some things out. But it's pretty clear that Cassius Winston has certainly delivered for the first night.
Cushingberry dumps down to Hankins, backing in on Ward. And a foul up top with the contact to the head of Hankins. Hankins a perfect 4 of 4 at the line tonight, and his first miss.
That's your announcer jinx.
So it's 1-1 in the scorebook.
You want to break the tie right here, or how are we going to work this?
Hankins misses both. And Michigan State will slow things down. So 2 more exhibitions coming up for Michigan State. They get a good test against an SEC foe on Sunday against Georgia, led by Yante Mayton. And then Hillsdale before the start of the season. McQuaid no good from 3. Ferris State got it with the shot clock effectively off. Cushingberry bumps, count the basket, and a free throw coming.
Georgia's coming fast on Sunday. Hillsdale's coming fast on Friday. But he's definitely going to have something for the film room tomorrow.
Drew Cushingberry finishes off a 3-point play to make it an 8-point margin in the final half minute. Nairn into the front court for Bridges. Ferris State led at the half by 3. It was tightly contested in the second half, but basketball's back in East Lansing, and the Spartans start the exhibition season